5. So buckle your seatbelt, it's quite the ride, and we'll see you on the other side. As Hunt awoke Thursday morning, his mind replayed the events from the last few days. Not once but twice he had nearly been killed. He thought about the money, he thought about the drugs, and then he thought about how he had to get the hell out of Ternosian, and as soon as earthly possible. Still, everything was falling into place for a glorious return to America. A couple of matters weighed on his mind, though. Hunt decided the best place to mull over these decisions was at his favorite watering hole, the Bundy's Pub. Later that morning, Pim Putman strolled around Ternosian looking for clients. Something told the unfortunate gangster that his luck was about to change. On his person, he carried various samples from the weed that he'd grown in his flat. He stopped off at a handful of shops on the lower end of Dykestraat, but he found that none were interested in his shady deals today, which was usually not the case. Next, he decided to stop off at the Bundy's, where he spotted his American friend, the weed tender known as Hunt. To the American, he said, "What is up, big guy? I heard what has happened the other day." "I guess I was lucky," Hunt told him. "The shop is still closed, eh?" Putnam took a seat at the bar. "We should be opening up very soon," Hunt put in. "Everyone's talking about the hit. So you holding up okay?" Held in Hunt's hand was a marble-sized ball of the Maple Leaf hashish. He rolled it between his fingers. "I guess so. What's happening your way?" All kinds of the bullshit. I got loads of stuff to get rid of. The summer harvest will be coming in soon with the local farmers, and then I won't be able to get shit for them products." Hunt thought about all the stories Pim had told him, stories of misadventures, deals gone bad, and breaks that had never come his way. For some reason, he found himself wanting to help this man, but Hunt also wondered if this man wanted to help himself, which was why he said inwardly, "You don't need the 100 kilos. You have more than enough to last you the rest of your life. Why not share the wealth? You should give him some. Pim deserves a break." "Hey, check this shit out." Hunt tossed Pim the ball of hashish. "It's the best hash in the world, and there's plenty more where that came from." "Like how much?" "Like say 20 kilos. Interested in a good deal today?" 20 kilos? Hochlunder. Putnam wasn't sure what to think. He would have to find a big-time buyer for such a quantity. "I don't know, Mom. I'm not sure I can move that much. And plus I have all my other stuff to get rid of." Hunt said he wasn't concerned about that. "What if I was to tell you that I'd be willing to let it go for 20 cents on the gilder? Would you be interested?" Putnam thought for a second. I just don't have the capital," he admitted, thinking to himself that it would take an eternity to raise the necessary money for such a large transaction. Hunt said, "Man, you don't think I know you by now? I already thought about that." "Oh?" "Yeah, numbnuts. I'm gonna front the shit to you." Of course, Hunt wouldn't come back for the money. He just didn't want Pim to think he was getting the goods handed to him over on a silver platter. With his newfound fortune, Hunt felt magnanimous. Pim was a decent guy who deserved a decent break, and Hunt was going to give it to him. Cautiously, Putnam said, "What is the catch?" "Catch is you gotta keep your fucking mouth shut. It's like this. I got 20 keys of this prime shit, hashish from Nepal. It's ready to move now. You take the dope off my hands, dump it and bring me back my cut. Take your time, I know you're good for it." 20 cents on the gilder, eh? Just one other thing. You gotta dump his shit somewhere out of Ternosian. Do that and you stand to make a small fortune. Hochlunder. It may take some time to. Time is all I got. So do we have a deal? The unfortunate gangster thought for a moment. Hunt's face went rock hard. It's risky what I'm doing for you. Just tell me you'll take the deal. Ja, natuurlijk, my friend. Tjerneuzen. A crab with a brutal claw. One that wouldn't let go without a fight. Even when that claw was ripped from its socket, somehow it still managed to hang on. Had Hunt's great fortune finally cracked that claw? Was he free at last? The elusive American relished in the fact that he was getting another opportunity, the chance to reunite with his family, to start anew. It brought him great exhilaration to think about returning to America, albeit as the prodigal son. Still, he would return to America as a wealthy man. That's if he could figure out how to get the money back home. In the realms of his soul, Hunt felt deep nostalgia. But there was still a question in the back of his mind. Had he hurt his family too much for them to forgive him? Hunt searched for the answer, but knew it would only come once he actually returned home. Another matter that plagued him, although he didn't want to admit it, was Hannah, his ex-girlfriend. She weighed heavily on his mind. Due to the constant fighting and bickering, they had agreed to end the relationship. Maybe it would be different now that he was free, and for that matter rich. Hunt knew there would be forever an ingrained sense of culpability if he deserted her, because it was she who had helped him through the most difficult time in his life. She who had taught him the language, she who had introduced him to a new life, she who had showed him how to survive when he thought he could go no longer. His mountain lady, his savior. Over and over he kept thinking about going to her, convincing her to come to America with him. Hunt silenced himself with the understanding that such a proposal at this point in time might endanger her life. Maybe she was waiting for him, though. Nothing was easy about this situation. Perhaps he could write her a letter, and then she could meet him somewhere. Or maybe he could at least try to make personal contact with her and bug off at the last second if things became too dangerous, then send the letter. Ultimately, they could live out the rest of their days in harmony. Hunt's thoughts pressed deeply as he waited at the stair for Rucker to arrive. The platinum gangster had said 11 at the latest. Ternosian, a freak show, a cesspool of gangsters carrying guns and knives and every drug imaginable. Addicted heroin junkies roaming around like skeletons looking for the next score and the next and the next. Ready to sell their souls for a small bag of dope. Tourists from all over Europe, fucking marijuana, Mayberry it wasn't, but instead, the wild, wild west of Kansas. Ternosian, a place where people got killed and big-time drug deals went down. The people of the low. Hunt had about all he could stand of Rucker's bullshit. But Hunt could trust Rucker. He couldn't really count on him. And when Rucker drank too much, it made matters that much worse. Hunt wondered why he even cared. Not that it mattered anymore. He was leaving this place. If he could only figure out what to do with the money. Hunt never thought that having large sums of guilders could be so problematic. He would first need to have the guilders converted to American dollars. Then he would have to figure out a fail-safe method for getting it home. But how? Then it hit him. It had been there in his mind all along. Augustino's brother, Japano. He would know what to do with the money. 80 kilos of hashish should be more than enough to persuade Augustino and his brother to help him. Payment for services rendered. Why hadn't he thought of this before? How many times had Augustino, in a drunken state of supreme inebriation, carried on about how all of his brothers had died, except one? And yes, the old African would say, Chipano, he was the most successful one of the Macaringue brothers. Hunt remembered that Chipano worked for a large bank in Denmark. Yes, Denmark might be the key. While Sarah's attended bar, Hunt kept his eyes open for anything suspicious. He believed Ivar Van Lowy, the expediter, when he'd said that the deal was on the down low. But he couldn't be sure of anything at this point. This was Ternosian. If things got out of control, They went haywire in a hurry. People talked. The simple fact was, 5 million guilders was 5 million guilders. The drugs, they were a different story. 100 kilos, an astonishing number. It was a lot of shit that didn't rest lightly. Any number of situations could occur. 1/5 of it had already been sliced up and given to Pim Putman. Hunt wondered if he made a mistake by involving Pim. Inevitably, Hunt knew that the sands of time were against him. He needed to act fast, and he needed a plan, and he needed a way out. He needed his family. When Sergio finally got caught up with the drink orders, he came over to Hunt and said, "It's hard to believe Tekato Yanni." "Scary shit," Hunt said, then took a long pull off the joint. "I suppose Constantine's pissed the fuck off." Sergio leaned in. "Yardio, now he's the one you must watch out for." Hunt didn't want to think about having to face that man. "I guess those are the risks," he said. Sergio leaned in a little closer. "I don't know, lad. First Yanni and now Rosie's gone missing as well." Hunt shot his eyebrows to the ceiling, thinking, "God, what till he finds out about the expediter?" Instead, Hunt offered, "Getting kind of spooky around here." "You can say that again, though," Sergio said. "Have you seen Rucker lately?" Hunt asked. "Oh, yeah, give me the time of day, me tell you. He's all the time in here, you hear, fucked up to his gourd. I wonder old blocky bloke these days. He's a loose cannon, you know." He's not the easiest person to deal with, that's for sure. He was a stubborn old kid growing up, he was. Sergio looked up into Hunt's eyes. "The lad is good in the heart, this I don't lie." Inside the Bundys, Augustino Macarenga catered to a small crowd. Hunt situated himself 2 stools down from an old hippie bonging away on a hash pipe. He set down his pack of drum and cleared the area to roll a joint. Augustino spotted his American friend right away. He treaded the length of the bar and said, "Ah, the infamous Hunt. Coffee, my friend?" "Short espresso," replied Hunt. Augustino returned with the short shot. "Looks like we might have a slow day, with the weather and all." Hunt sipped at his coffee several times and waited for the caffeine to do its thing. As his brain rolled, he said to Augustino, "I wish I had time to worry about the weather." And under his breath, "I'll need a miracle to get me out of this one." "Slow down, my friend," Augustino said. Strange the way Hunt is acting, the Mozambican thought. "Is there something on your mind?" "Listen, when you have a minute, maybe I'll tell you what's going on." "So, Hunt, what gives?" "How long have we been friends now, Augustino? 6 years?" "Something like that, yes. Let's say I had a problem." The Mozambican laughed like an old sage. "Oh, you can trust me, my friend." Hunt said, "You know, I always talk about that brother you have in Denmark, the one who has the big job with the bank." "Gee, Pondo, yes, the only one in my family history to go to college." After Hunt told him about the money and the drug deal going awry, Augustino's mouth hung agape. The Mozambican said, "Why do you not run me by that me one more time, my friend?" Hunt repeated the story and then provided Augustino with a bird's eye view of his plan. "It is risky," Augustino warned him. Hunt paused for a second. "There's something else I wanted to tell you. My name's not Hunt, it's Dempsey, Jimmy Dempsey." Augustino couldn't believe his ears. "It is unbelievable. It was a long time ago. I made a decision all by myself. I made myself believe I was doing the right thing, but in the end, I must have put them through hell, Augustino. Don't you see, Augustino? I fucked up. I made my family believe I was dead, just so I could be free. But you know what? I never was." The Mozambican had heard enough. "Go to Belgium. There is a place called the St. Christopher's Inn at the Bauhaus. It is a youth hostel. I've stayed there many times. You think I'll be safe there?" Just make sure you are not followed out of Ternosian, and you will be okay. I will contact you with the information as soon as I talk to my brother. Of course, there will be a fee attached. I already thought of that. For helping me, I'm gonna give you 4 million guilders worth of hash. How does that sound? Did you say 4 million? You heard me right. That's a 4 plus 6 zeros. 80 kilos of pure grade Nepalese, my man. You cannot be serious. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. It's risky, I know, but if this works, we live like kings the rest of our lives. Augustino thought about returning home a wealthy man. What a moment that would be, he thought. And you have the money and the drugs now? In a safe place, yes. The money stays with me, though. We'll meet up later tonight, and I'll drop off the dope at your flat. That is fine. I will make the necessary calls. After that, you go to Belgium. You stay there till I contact you. It may take some time to arrange this with Gipano. Sounds like a plan. Hunt paused for a second and then added, but I still have a couple of things to take care of before I go. An anxious look crossed the Mozambican's face. No, my man, you must leave immediately. It's unavoidable. I think it is foolish. Hannah, is it not? Listen, my brother, it is best that you leave Ternosian now. Do not wait around for the fireworks. Hunt looked down at the floor and jostled his eyebrows. You may be right, but I don't really have a choice. If you enjoyed the video tonight, don't forget to hit the like and leave a comment down below. Or you can go back to the beginning of Dutch Coffee Shop right here, or just hit that little picture of me down there. Subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you on the other side.